Hello, I'm Chris Clark and welcome back to my channel. It has been a long time since I've been on here, but I am happy to be back with a little homeschool update. So today is just going to be an overview of what we're doing curriculum-wise this year and how it's going. Just a fall update and then a quick check-in of how we've been. So this past couple of weeks has been a little crazy around here. We did some organizing in our schoolroom. Desperately needed to happen. Our bookcases were ridiculous. So I got those cleaned out and organized, which you can see here. And then we started decorating for Christmas, which can be a hot button topic, I know. Some people say it's too early, but I really enjoy getting it set up slowly over a couple of weeks and having it all up for Thanksgiving so that it's really cozy. And then we have the entire month of December to enjoy it before we put everything away at the new year. So in 2020, I made our stockings for our family, which is something I had wanted to do for a long time. And so now I'm making one for our baby. That was partway done. Isn't that cute? Little baby stocking.
Quick little interjection from the future. The stocking is done now.
So I honestly don't remember if I did a curriculum picks video for 2022, 2023. I kind of feel like I didn't. I think the last one I did was 21, 22. That might be wrong. I don't know. So I will kind of go over what we're using and then update how we like it in case I haven't shared that already. But I'll be brief. Okay, so I have this year a 4th grader, a 3rd grader, a 1st grader, and a pre-K / K 4-5-ish. He's schooling more, but I mean, it's just kind of the sort of where he falls. And then a baby. And we use Masterbooks, obviously. If you followed me for a while, you know this is all going to be Masterbooks product. Okay, but just kind of an idea. So my 4th grader is 10. She just turned 10, and she is using Math Lessons for Living Education, level 4. She is in language lessons, level 3, and should finish up with that in the next month or so. When we switched to Masterbooks, we switched in like a January time of year, and so we've graduated up to levels between books kind of at odd times throughout the year. In some subjects she works faster, in other subjects slower, so I just let my kids start and stop books as needed. I don't worry about it like being the beginning of the school year. So she was actually using this book for part of the last school year, and then now is finishing it in the beginning of this school year. And then she also does catch on to cursive, which has been really fun. So those are our individual subjects for her. And then we do group subjects for history and science. And this year we're doing it a little bit different. We're doing actually 2 sciences because one of them is the level K science for the younger kids, and that's only a couple days a week. And then the other one is 3 days a week, so we just kind of mix it all in. So for the older kids, we started the Let's Talk Science series, which has been a lot of fun. We did zoology last year, but that didn't have very many experiments or anything, and so they're having a lot more fun with the hands-on aspect of Let's Talk Science. But because we hadn't done it before, we actually started with level 1. And we're kind of working through it at a faster pace because, you know, my 4th and 3rd graders don't need to do level 1. But it's been great for them, and they are able to do it with the younger kids too, which is nice. And so to kind of beef it up for my 3rd and 4th graders, I have them kind of lead some of the experiments, like I explain it to them, and then they sort of take the helm, which is nice. And then they also notebook about it. And then both of them, my 3rd and 4th grader, are using Elementary World History U Report, which has been a lot of fun. We haven't been doing like written reports. We've been doing video, like news broadcasts, and these are adorable. I made like a private YouTube playlist so we could share it with family. And it's just adorable. Like, I love that we'll have these memories when they're older because it is so cute. Okay, so now my 3rd grader, Adventures in Creation from Let's Talk Science, history World History Report. And then she's using Math Lessons Level 3. And Language Lessons Level 2. A similar situation with her older sister. Started it last year, continued this year. Last year, she also started Catch On to Cursive. She was really excited about it. But as we progressed, it kind of got a little bit more difficult for her. And so we have put that on the shelf for a little while, and we'll bring it back out after we've worked on some writing stamina and hand strength a little bit more. So my first grader is learning to read. She's using Foundations Phonics and doing really well with that. We love that course. And I love that it's, Bible and reading all in one.
She is also using Math Lessons for Living Education Level 1, as well as the Practice Makes Perfect book. And I forgot to mention, but both of my other daughters are also using the Practice Makes Perfect along with their math.
She also is listening in with the Adventures in Creation and will join in the activities. But her main science is Adventures in the World Around Me, which is the Level K, the kindergarten version of that, and which has been perfect for her abilities, and she's been having a lot of fun with all the activities in that one. And then she also started My Story K. So she listens to the history lessons, but she doesn't do any of the worksheets or any of the activities really. She doesn't do any of the reports. And so I wanted her to have something. We've never used the My Story before now. Well, she started it at the end of last year, but this is our first time going through any of the My Story series, because when we switched to Masterbooks before, we had already done social studies, and I'm really glad that we are getting the opportunity to use it now because I like it a lot. And then my Kinder 4-5 little guy is still using Stepping Stones. We started it last year at a super slowpoke pace, basically just when he asked to do school, which wasn't very often. It was, sometimes, but not very often. It's becoming more regular now, and he's getting a little older. I love the developmental approach. Obviously, Masterbooks has that across the board, but it's really great. There's a lot of motor skill work and hand strength, and he really likes all the hands-on activities, and there's a lot of things that you can go deeper with or, go further with. I don't always do all the reading portion with him with that, just because his patience level right now and his ability to sit still and listen to that has not progressed enough for that always. But if he will listen, I summarize a lot, but we're making it work for us, which I think is really important. And then he's doing My Story K, kind of like he listens a bit. He'll do activities. He likes to do the coloring pages. So we kind of do what he wants and don't push anything. And then he loves the Adventures in the World Around Me. Anything that has a science experiment, he wants to do all of the worksheet. He wants to do that's his favorite subject. So that's been a lot of fun. And I was kind of surprised by that. So I'm glad that I gave him the opportunity to try it out with his sister. And then the big girls actually usually join in to any sort of activity that we have. And then sometimes we print off an extra page for, they were drawing, a self-portrait, drawing their eye color and hair color, and my older girls wanted to do that too. So things like that, just everybody joins in. So we've finished Where Faith Grows, and we're waiting for Where Faith Grows 2 to be available in physical copy, but when it is, that's what we'll be using for Bible. We're still using the U.S. geography, and we're going slow through that. We do not even a state a week. We used to do a state a week, but it's slowed down. Sometimes it's a state every other week, but we're a little more than halfway through that course, and then we'll do the elementary world geography. So as a lot of you know, I had a baby a few months ago, and so we were in a bit of a transition season with our homeschool, and I had to simplify a lot of things, and it's really helped that my older two have been able to kind of foster some independent learning. My younger two, not as much, but we've really simplified what they were doing for quite a while, and now we're kind of mixing in more things. We let baby be the lesson for a lot of that time. But I also picked up a few just little easy workbooks and things that they could work on their own. I purposefully bought like below their ability, like below their levels, so that they could work on it without me, and it gave them something to do independently. Plus, we really, would like to avoid, we're not great at it, but would like to avoid screens during the week. And so it gave them another option of something that they could do. So we used, I believe they're called Lakeshore, and they're just a paragraph of the week book and then a writing prompt book. And then my younger ones, there was like a My First journal. That's just a blank journal. My 6-year-old has a, like My First writing prompt, and so it'll give her a few words and she traces them like I like. And then there's a word bank, and she could pick a word and she copies it down and then she draws a picture. And so that's been pretty great because they can just grab them and work on them. So we have what we call their morning work, which is just spelling practice, just using their spelling word lists and writing them out or playing games with them, or we have a few, or like word shaped boxes I have printed off for them, things like that. And then these little cheap notebook things, workbooks I guess you call them, that they can use to occupy their time until I have finished nursing and am ready to help them with the rest of their schoolwork. And then they also can go into their math and their language and whatever they understand they can do. And then we can kind of meet, have a little check-in, and go over stuff. So that's kind of how we've been working things with having the baby around. And he oftentimes just sort of, rolls around in here on the rug, and our schoolroom is right there. And so I can watch him while I'm helping the kids at the table. And so it's been going good. He's getting mobile now, so everything will probably change here in a few weeks. And I'll be like, I can't do videos anymore. I don't have any time. So anyways, hopefully not. And then the other thing that we're using, which I've talked about here on the channel, are Pathway readers. We're still using them, still enjoy them. It's time for me to order the next. I first ordered just the primer through the 4th grade level. And now it's time for me to order the next book. And maybe I'll just do 5th through 8th because we like them. We're going to keep using them. One thing that I was impressed with actually when I got the paragraph of the week and the writing prompt books, I wasn't really quite sure how my kids would do with those, just because we hadn't really done much paragraph writing. I felt like we hadn't done much yet in language lessons and like writing prompts. I mean, they do the story every Thursday, and so they had gotten it, but it didn't feel like they'd had a lot of repetition with it. But they have done great in those little workbooks, so obviously they're getting the skills. So I was really pleased with that because, I think we all kind of second guess ourselves sometimes and wonder, are they getting enough? And is this working for them? And is this fitting their learning style? And so I was pleased to see their progress. So that's the little update that I have for you guys. We're doing great with all of our subjects. We've shelved a couple of things, or I guess just catch on to cursive. In art. We were doing living art lessons, and we went about halfway through it, and then we just put it up because of having a baby, really. I wasn't in a space to be able to facilitate a lot of projects. We also paused on our science for a little while we kind of got our routine back in order, and then now we've mixed that back in. So, that's where we're at. We're kind of in the fall, not like slump, but like we're ready to take Christmas vacation. We're ready for a break for the holidays. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope that you enjoyed this little update. Let me know if there's any courses that you want to flip through.
If you see my bookshelves, I pretty much have all of Masterbooks products.
As we're just preparing for future and getting everything sorted out. So, and as I'm a Masterbooks coach, so it's really nice to have the books in hand when people have questions or whatever, so I can just go refer to the books. So anyways, if you want to see any courses, let me know. I'd be happy to do flip throughs, and I hope that you guys are having a great fall. Until next time, happy schooling.